Hey guys, it's Blaize. I have an itchy nose. Okay, now that that's out of the way, as you can tell by the title of the video, I'm going to be discussing my awesome experience at my very first Comic-Con. But before I get into that, I have to do a small rant. Hopefully I'm going to get through this as fast as possible. So, last Sunday, I unexpectedly went to Comic-Con to meet some of the people who are such huge parts of my life and have been such huge role models and idols and just everything to me. Now, one of those people, the main person, pretty much, was Jason Mewes. And if you don't know who Jason Mewes is, Jay from Jay and Silent Bob, if you know who they are, I don't know who doesn't know, who has not at least heard of them. But Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes always did, New Jersey movies. I'm from New Jersey. I grew up in New Jersey. I've been to the Quick Stop that, Clerks takes place in. I've been to the Secret Stash, which is Kevin Smith's shop kind of thingy. So they have been a huge, huge part of my life, and I've always loved Jay. Jay himself. I've always loved him. And before I get into my experience with everything that went on, and I'll discuss what went on, sadly, I have to report that I had to block a certain amount of friends from all of my social medias. I'm talking YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everything, all of my social medias. I had to block these friends because as soon as I started putting pictures and videos up from Comic-Con and they saw how excited I was, they know the hell that has been going on with me this past year and how the 1-year anniversary of my boyfriend's death is coming up in just less than 2 weeks. So this was the best thing to happen to me in over 2 years, legit. And they, of course, had to, I'm not going to name who they were, but there was a couple of them who had to comment, oh my God, he's a junkie. Oh my God, he looks terrible. Look what drugs have done to Jason Mewes. Okay, first point, Jason Mewes, yes, everybody knows that he used to be a drug addict. He was a very heavy drug addict. Kevin Smith actually did help him repeatedly. And Jason Mewes has been clean and sober since June 28th, 2010. If you don't believe me, go look it up yourself. It is out there on the web. Okay? He is not a drug addict anymore. Secondly, these people who were trying to take away the only happiness that I've had in 2 years. 2 years. Okay? Their idols are all either drug addicts, ex-drug addicts, or died from drugs. I have a plaque of Sid and Nancy in my room. I love Sid and Nancy. Do I love the drugs that they did? Absolutely not. I don't condone what they did at all. And I think that everybody on here, every single person on here, either themselves or has known somebody in their life who had a struggle with drug problems. It is a very touchy subject for me because I knew somebody I knew a few people who had problems with drugs, and I don't usually like talking about it. But one of my best friends, we just discussed this, that one of his idols was Kurt Cobain. Who was Kurt Cobain? An absolute genius. He was brilliant. He was an amazing person. He also was a drug addict. Courtney Love. These, Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, these friends love these people. And they are all either, like I said, ex-drug addicts, current drug addicts, or are dead because of drugs. So, hypocrite much? I mean, come on. If you guys have been following me for a while, you will know that I have the most extreme kind of acute anxiety and generalized anxiety disorders and panic attack syndromes and social anxiety. I mean, just you name it. And along with all the chronic physical illnesses that I have. So over the past 5 or 6 years, I've had many opportunities to go to concerts, to go to meet and greets, to go to wrestling events. I've had wrestling event tickets purchased for me for Christmas, for Hanukkah, for my birthday, and I've had to go on Craigslist every single time and sell my tickets. And every time my best friends would go to see the Misfits, because they were like 20 minutes away from my house, every Halloween they do a show there. Every single time my best friends went, I had to stay behind, and I was crying for days. Because yes, they would bring me back souvenirs, and my late boyfriend Michael actually almost literally killed a bunch of teenagers running them down to get to the band so they can sign the poster that's hanging up in my room. And that's so unbelievably sweet of them. My best friend Josh would always get me a t-shirt or a wallet or whatever from the concert. But the thing is, I wasn't experiencing the concerts and the meet and greets myself. Now, this past couple weeks, I was watching a movie with Jason Mewes in it, and I'll discuss that a little bit in a few minutes, which one that was. And I guess somehow Facebook, you know how the internet finds out what you're watching, and like they'll put ads for certain things. So it said that there was going to be, for the first time ever, a Comic-Con in my city that I currently reside in. And it was only 15 minutes away. And I was like, that's really cool. And on the card, because I was just looking through it, on the card, Jason Mewes was on it. And I was like, oh my God, I want to meet him so bad. I was like, oh, this is just, I want to meet him so bad. And then also down the list was Brian O'Halloran. Now, I know if you watched my vlog of Comic-Con, which I will link down below for you to check it out. It's an embarrassing video because I was just fangirling so much that, oh my God. Anyway, so Brian O'Halloran played Dante from Clerks and Clerks 2, and he's also been in many Kevin Smith movies. So, I love him. And I was like, that's really, really, really cool. Like, and it also said that the wrestlers Ric Flair and The Godfather were going to be there. Now, if you're a very close friend of mine, you will know I am not a Ric Flair fan. I actually kind of hate him. But it would have been cool and a cool experience to say that I met him. And with The Godfather, I never disliked him. I never loved him. He's a cool guy. So I would have liked to have met him too. And I discussed it with my mother, and I told her that you know, what was going on. She was like, you should go. You should definitely go. And I'm like, with everything going on with my tailbone, with everything going on with me mentally just worn out, you know, I could never do that. And that I was just repeating the cycle of what's been going on for years of me missing an event and crying for days afterwards, saying I could have been there. I could have enjoyed this. I could have been doing this. And I would see all my other friends going around, meeting their idols, meeting, you know, their favorite people, meeting actors, meeting famous people who they look up to. And it broke my heart, because the last time I met somebody I idolized was Chris Jericho for the second time in 2007. That is the last time I've ever done anything like that. So I was repeating the cycle. I was just like, this, I really, really want to do this, and I can't do it. So I put it in the back of my mind, and it kind of stayed there for a little bit. I thought about it once in a while over the past couple weeks, and then, so Comic-Con went on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This past Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And on Saturday, on Saturday night, I was on Instagram because I follow Jason Mewes and this other person on Instagram, and Jason Mewes had posted a selfie with Peter Dante. And if you don't know who Peter Dante is, he's been in almost every single Adam Sandler movie there is. But the thing that got me in love with him, I loved him to begin with, but me, Josh, Michael, our movie was Grandma's Boy, and Dante was our favorite character, and that's who he played. And they even explained that yes, they were so lazy on this movie that they didn't even give him a fake name, they just called him by his last name. And he posted a picture standing next to him saying, you know, at Comic-Con, and they even did a quote from Grandma's Boy, and they were holding up a bud of weed. Of course it was blurred out because it's Instagram, blah blah blah. And I was like, Peter Dante is here. He wasn't on the card to even be here. I was like, this is horrible because I need to go to this. I need to meet him. And I was so pissed and so upset because I was like, I didn't even know he was going to be here. And the next day was an extremely, excruciatingly bad pain day. I was very, very anxious, having plenty of anxiety. And it was about 12 in the afternoon. And I talked to my mom and I told her, I said, Ma, listen, I said, a couple of my heroes and people who have been such a huge part of my life and my best friends' lives, and some people that we quote on a daily basis, are going to be 15 minutes away from my house, and I could be meeting them. And she said, you know what, Blaize? Do it. Just go do it. And I was like, are you kidding me? Look at me. I can't go. And I said, I'll be, you know, it'll be over by the time I'm able to get ready, if I was even physically feeling up to it to go. And I thought about it for a few minutes and I was like, you know what? I am so sick and tired of having an event and missing it and then regretting it and crying and just having nothing but regrets. So my mother said, go get ready. And I was like, okay. I had literally less than 10 minutes to get dressed and put my makeup on and do my hair. So I looked horrible going to meet these people. I looked so horrible in that video. I am so upset of how I wish I could have, you know, done more with myself to meet these guys, but and my mother convinced my father to take me down to Comic-Con. Now, as I said, and if you watched it, I vlogged that whole experience, most of that experience, and I will link it down below for you to watch it if you have not seen it yet. And yes, my father was recording a majority of the time, and that's why the camera's kind of facing the floor. When I called my grandmother and I told her that this happened, and my grandmother watches my YouTube videos, or plays, as she has called them. She's adorable. She asked my mom, she's like, did Larry tape most of this? And we just couldn't stop laughing because yes, my father's terrible at it. So on the way to Comic-Con, we are in a huge thunder rainstorm. And of course, like the one time I don't want it to rain because it's gonna ruin whatever little makeup I had on and hair that I had straightened. But I was just like speed talking the whole time I was there. I was like, is this really happening? Am I really going to this? What is going on? Because before we left, we did make sure to look up the times of when people were going to be there. And I had just missed by a half an hour been able to meet Ric Flair and the Godfather. So that was kind of depressing, but I was still able, and Peter Dante was one of the people I wanted to meet, that I was like totally like excited to meet. He was not on the card for that day. And that really pissed me off. But I was like, all right, so at least I can still meet Jason Mewes, and I could still meet Brian O'Halloran. Again, I know I said Brian O'Hara in the video several times, but my father kept calling him Brian O'Hara. So for some reason, I was so nervous, I kept calling him that, even though I knew his real freaking name. So, please, my bad. So, about 15, no more than 20 minutes later, we drive up, and we are at the first ever Colorado Comic-Con. Again, this was the inaugural one, never had been here before. It wasn't as, which is good, because I have such panic, and I can't walk as much as the average person. It wasn't as huge as, like, say, San Diego Comic-Con or the one they hold in New York or anything like that. It was much smaller, but it was still a pretty decent size. And so we pull up. I am so scared. I am shaking. I am so nervous. They asked to see my purse. I give them my purse, and he doesn't even open my bag. He just kind of goes to my bag and he goes, "Do you have any guns or concealed weapons or knives in here?" And I was like, no. He's like, "Okay, go ahead." I was like, what if I was lying? Like, what if I was, like, carrying a bomb? He didn't even look, but they did pat my dad down fully and make him take his hat off to check him. We got our tickets. I was shaking so much. And we had, it said, timing-wise, that we had like an hour to kill. On the website, it said we had about an hour to kill until Jason Mewes and Brian O'Halloran were going to be doing a signing. So we walked around for like 3 minutes, maybe, and I saw this, and I am so disappointed because this was perfect, and I was so, like, jumpy and skittish at the time that I was like not even seeing properly. So all I did was see that it said American Horror Story on it, and I paid $20 for it. Everything at Comic-Con, by the way, is so unbelievably overpriced. So there were so many things that I wanted to get for my friends from Comic-Con, and I was like, I just can't afford that. But I did pick up this female shirt that just says American Horror Story on it. It says it's an extra large, but it is definitely not. I can't even fit it over my boobs. It won't even go over my boobs. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Probably going to sell it. I don't know where. If any girls who like American Horror Story on here who are more petite would like to contact me and stuff, if you are interested in purchasing this. I only tried it on that one time and it didn't even get past my shoulders. So let me know, contact me however you want if you are interested in that. So we asked a random person if they knew where the signings were going to take place, because we wanted to get our place on the line so we wouldn't have to be all the way at the back of the line. And all he did was point to the back of the building. And he said that's where all the famous people are. So we go there, and everybody is out at their booths. And I was like, oh my God, they're already here. And I was like, I was so fangirling that day that it's cringy. It's cringy to watch. Even for me, it's hard to watch, because it's just so embarrassing. But there were no lines whatsoever to meet all these. There were some people from The Walking Dead there. There were some people from Sons of Anarchy there. Dean Cain was there. A few more people. Some Power Rangers were there. So I saw right in front of me Brian O'Halloran, and then next to that was Jason Mewes. I saw them both, and I was like near passing out. I was like, this is too good to be true. This isn't happening. And so my dad ripped it off, and I was like, how careless are you with this? This is our ticket bracelet that we had to wear when we were in there. So I'm definitely going to be putting this in my memory box. So we go in, I would say we would go in a line, but there was no line to meet Brian O'Halloran, and I was so excited. And then I look over at my dad, and Jason Mewes is legitimately right behind him. I will insert that video right now to when I first see him standing this close to me. So check this out. Daddy, he's right behind you. Please take a picture.
Go say hello. Go say hello.
Please hold
Go
it.
say hello. I'll take your picture. Say hello.
It's recording at the moment.
Autographs? 21st,
Shaking.
Go take a picture.
I have to take my
I
phone.
don't want to do it that.
Yeah, thank you. You won't get rid of. Okay. It's so embarrassing. So, my dad's like, go say hi to him. As you saw in the video, he said, go say hi to him. And I'm like, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy to say hi to him. And I was like, I'm not ready. I thought we still had an hour. You know, I was like, oh my God, get my tranquilizers a minute to kick in. So he comes up to me and he's like, hey. And he's acting like the most sweetest, funniest, most personable person I've ever met. I mean, I spent about, I know it's not long, but between 5 and 10 minutes with him, just talking and fangirling like crazy. And I told him that I was watching his movie Bitten, which was the movie I had mentioned earlier. If you are interested in checking that movie out, if you are a fan of like comedy, horror, B, independent movies, or a fan of Jason Mewes in general, it is a very low budget and very independent movie, so much to the point where you can watch it on YouTube. The movie is on YouTube, and a lot of movies are not allowed to be on YouTube. That one is. So when I brought that movie up, he looked confused for a second, because I think he was actually in shock that not only did I love this movie, but I actually knew the movie, because it's just. And then I also got on video him talking about how he wanted to make a second one, but you know, the people who were making it did not come through and everything. And I was like, oh my God, that sucks, because it was such a great movie. And you know, the ending left you kind of like on a cliffhanger kind of thing. And I was talking to him and telling him how beautiful his daughter Logan is, and she looks just like him. She's so cute. And I was telling him, you know, that he's been such a huge part of my life, and that this was like just such an honor. And I was like, I love you so freaking much. And he was like, oh. And then when we were going to take pictures, he first asked to see my phone, and my dad had both my phone and his phone in his hands. And this is why I will forever love Jason Mewes, because, thank you. He pulls out, and if you watch the video, you will hear him say, don't do it with that phone. My father has a flip phone, and Jason Mewes ripped my father to pieces about having a flip phone and just made fun of him for like 20 seconds. And I was like, this is just so perfect. Like, I cannot believe this is happening. So he takes my phone from my father's hand, and all the selfies of me and him together that you see, Jason Mewes took himself. So he took my phone, and he's the one who just kept snapping away, taking selfies. And I got a choice of, I think there was 20 different 8x10s to choose from that he can sign. And I know I said, and you saw my name in that, my real name in that video, because I didn't want it to be too Blaize, because, you know, obviously not my real name, and I wanted to be personalized. So I thought he was just gonna write to, and then my name, and just sign it. But he, of course, this was the picture from Clerks 2 when he was singing Goodbye Horses. This was the picture that I chose for him to sign. And he wrote my name, and then he wrote Snoochie Boochies. and he wrote, "I heart mangina." This is going straight up on my wall now. I've been saving it on the side to do this video. This is perfect. I watched it the other day after I met him because I was just like, because I met him too. So he's the next story, which is much shorter.
At the end, you know, I could have they could have made a cool second one, but the guy never did it, so.
Aww.
It was fun.
You get a choice for an autographed pictures.
Yeah.
Of course.
To
Kaylee, K-A-Y-L-E-E.
K-A-Y.
L-E-E. So right after Jay, and they were set up right next to each other, and I know that they took a lot of pictures with fans together. So this was just the pamphlet from Comic-Con that I took, and it starts showing here everybody that was there. So just another little thing to put in my memory box. And I met Brian O'Halloran, and I will insert that video right now. There.
Push the white button for a picture.
Hi.
Go say hello.
My name's Kaylee. I actually.
Oh, really? Where is this buffet? Picture, I want to get a picture. What does it cost for a picture? All right, so to get a picture with mine autograph,
Oh, okay.
picture's free. We can do that. Okay. You got it.
You're welcome. If you want to tag that on any of the social media sites, those are the addresses.
I'm assuming you got it here.
Randall doesn't got shit on you.
No, he doesn't.
Thank you. You're welcome. You too. And I did get to go up to him and tell him what I wanted to tell him. And if you are a Clerks fan, at least of the first one, I mean, they do say it at the end of the second one, but I actually told him, you know what? I actually wasn't supposed to be here today. And he started laughing and he was like, really? Well, why'd you come? And I said, I saw that you and Jay were on the card and I just had to come down and meet you both. And he was like, oh, that's so sweet. And you see that we took a couple photos together, and he gave me his card to follow him on all his social medias. And he said to just tag him in any videos or photos of him that there are. And I did later on that night, and he was the first one to like all of the pictures and videos that I posted of him on Instagram. I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, he actually kept his word. And he was not like Jay, very, very outspoken and just so excited and, you know, out there. Jay was a sweet, beautiful person. And for the people who say, I don't know if I already said this, but the man is 42. He looks legitimately 30. So I don't know what people were saying when they say, look what drugs have done to him, like physically. He was absolutely beautiful. Brian O'Halloran was much more of a laid-back, easygoing, quieter kind of type. And as you saw in the video, last minute, all I did was shout, Randall doesn't have shit on you. And he said, no, he doesn't. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Jeff Anderson. I love Randall, but he wasn't there. So Brian O'Halloran it was. So then I am so glad that I captured my initial reaction on video. and I will insert that right now. It smells like weed in here. Oh my God. Peter Dante is actually here.
Who's Peter Dante?
The one smiling at me!
What?
Please hold my fucking purse.
Yeah, you can.
Peter Dante was there. He was not on the card to be there that day. And I was like, oh my God. And I only had a little bit of money left. And I begged, I told my father, I don't care how much money I have to lend you from my monthly check. Just, I need to meet him. And he was like, okay, no, if he's one of the 3 guys that you wanted to meet, yes, he is one of the 3 guys that I needed to meet. And when I got up, if you see, I really wish I could have gotten a better, closer look at his face, because when I was going like, oh my God, he's the one smiling at me, he was doing this. Kind of mimicking me, and I was like, oh my God, he's mimicking me, he's making fun of me, this is the best day of my life. If you don't know which one Peter Dante was, and you are a fan of Grandma's Boy, he was obviously the weed dealer, who me and my best friend Josh, and like I said, my late boyfriend Michael, quote basically on a daily basis. And I got up to him, and they said that it was $60 for assigning an autograph and a photograph with him, and it was $30 for either or. And I only had like $30 left. I did not have $60 because I wanted to get a signature done, because his birthday is next month, and because he loves him so much, I wanted to get an autograph for my best friend Josh from him, personalized, but I just couldn't afford it. And I spoke to him about it, and he said, babe, I'm just happy that you got to experience this, that it does not, that I appreciate it, but you having your moment is enough for me. And that's all I wanted people to say to me, you know, just have your moment, have some kind of happiness. So I chose the opt to take a photograph with him, and I took a couple with him, and the guy who was taking the photograph accidentally took a 1-second video as well.
Oh no.
And when I went up to him, he hugged me like so amorously, and then quickly kind of went, wait, how old are you? I was like 28. And he was like, okay, good. And then he hugged me again really, really tight, and he smelled, I'm not gonna lie, he smelled like straight weed, like very dank weed. And he did say that he needed a hit. I was just like, come back to my house, we'll supply you. It was so amazing. And he was very, very sweet, but he was like a mixture of both Jay and Brian. He was both very down to earth and more timid, but he was also very, like, his character just shined there. So I was so freaking happy to meet him. There were so many things I wanted to say to him, but I was fangirling so much that it just slipped my mind. So those were the 3 people, 3 of my heroes, 3 of my idols that I met, and I am so happy to have met them, and I'm even more so proud of myself that I got myself to do this, because I've never, in years, have not been able to push myself like I did this past Sunday. And I am so proud of myself for doing this, because now I don't have to look back and cry and say, I could have met them, I could have been there, and I did not go. So I am saying this with the most sincerity as anybody has ever told you before. If you suffer from like similar problems like I do, if I can do this, you can do this. You can do anything. If I was able to do this for myself, and I know people say that if I can do it, then you can do it. And a lot of people are like, not true, because I've been one of those people. Seriously, if I could do this, you guys can do it. and I really encourage you to go out there and do it instead of having a lifetime of regret, like I had. The last two things, it's actually, what should my sister Rain's birthday today, now that it's after 12, and the last things I picked up for me and for her, I got her this little Ursula pop vinyl keychain because we love her and she is an inside joke between the both of us. And I got myself a Maleficent one. So those were the only things that I picked up there because they were actually decently priced. So after meeting all of them, me and my father stuck around for about a half an hour to 45 minutes longer, and there was a lot of people with really, really awesome costumes. Of course, there was like 59 Harley Quinns, like I knew there was going to be, and what I called, like, everybody, every basic bitch is going to be Harley Quinn for Halloween this year. Not me. I like to go more of a different route and more originality. Oh, and I was wearing my other bat necklace, as you could see in the video, and Brian O'Halloran did compliment it. He said, "I love your necklace," and I was like, oh my god, is that him saying he loves my boobs or my actual necklace? Alright, I'm gonna stop. But that was my experience at my first ever Comic-Con. That was just, even though I was in so much pain and so scared, the adrenaline kind of counteracted it. So if I had to do it over and over again, I absolutely would. I mean, I almost had an asthma attack while I was there. But I am so happy that I went. I've been watching Kevin Smith movies and Grandma's Boy nonstop. That's pretty much the only movies I've been watching since this past Sunday. I'm so happy that, you know, because sometimes when you meet your idols, you get disappointed. It's happened to me before, and it's happened to a lot of people, but these guys, no disappointments whatsoever. They are amazing people in real life, and so sweet and so sincere and so personable, and really genuinely seem like they are very much interested in meeting their fans. So this was absolutely amazing, and I don't know what else I can say about it. It's definitely something I will never forget, and something that I will always treasure in my memories. So if you are still here and watching, thank you so much for watching this video. If you'd be so kind to go over here and click on my face, or go further down below, hit the subscribe button to subscribe right now, because I always have contests, raffles, and giveaways all free all the time on your end, at least once a month. So you always have a chance to win something. That is my ultimate goal for all my Blazers, all my subscribers, to win at least something during their stay here in the Blaize Nation. Yesterday was my parents' 35-year anniversary, so me and my mother went and got our nails done. I got an ombre effect with these gel nails. I love it, and I got a little moon on these fingers. Absolutely love these colors together. I know that this is just black and the number 47 because they use different numbers for gel nail polishes, but it's like a mauve and a black, and they just look so freaking cool. So yeah, so again, if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Unless they are nasty or rude or like the others, your comment will be reported, you will be blocked. Please, I don't need any negativity on this. Please do not try to ruin the only good thing that has happened to me in over 2 years. Please, I'm begging you. And there's no reason to say anything bad. If you're not a fan of any of these guys, you don't need to be a fan of any of these people. You're allowed to like who you want, but don't insult them in front of me or to me to try to bring me down. Why can't people just be happy for me? I don't understand that. I'm talking about those friends that are no longer friends of mine. So anyway, I know I've been ranting long enough and you guys have had enough of me. I know I have not been making as many videos as I usually do. That is because I've been so under the weather and there's just been so much going on that, you know, it's not really as easy for me as it used to be, but I'm going to be going back, trying to do at least 2 videos a week. So hopefully I'm going to be on here a lot more. So until next time, later Blazers, stay strong, stay wicked.